the book of Mark, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 23, and it reads, Salakia 3 and 23, and it reads, And he called them unto him, and said unto them in parables, How can Satan cast out Satan? Verse 24, And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Verse 25, And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Verse 26, And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to call Loyam, La Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kodash Bakatham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teaching do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat that they're listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, the whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. This lesson is in regards to this video. Well, this topic, just was going through my Newsbreak app, came across this article, caught my attention because of something the title stated. It says Kid Rock allegedly uses racial slurs and pulls out gun during interview. Now, that ain't what caught my attention because we all know, America's built on racism. You know what I mean? White supremacy, white supremacism. Or white supremacy, Salakia. White supremacy, you know what I mean? They're quick to tell you how, America's is pretty much everybody's all together. It makes me think of the Lord of the Rings because how, Sauron, what he do? Sauron, he basically made all these rings, and he gave 3 to these people, and he gave 10 to these people, and you know what I mean. But in actuality, he had one ring that he thought he was gonna rule all the other rings, and that's how Esau Edom's mindset is. He'll tell you everybody is all equal and we're everybody's together, but in actuality, he thinks he's above everybody. When in the truth be told, he's actually beneath. So it says Kid Rock allegedly uses racial slurs and pulls out gun during interview, admits to being a part of America's divide. That's what caught my attention, and that's why I came out with the scripture, Mark chapter 3, verse 24. Now, I could have got it out of Matthew chapter 12, but the thing is, in Mark chapter 3, it says, pretty much, he said, if Satan be divided, then he shall have an end, roughly paraphrase. Now I'm going to have to go get it, Slovakia. It's this one, I think. Satan be divided against Satan, then he have an end, roughly. I hate this. I just had it too. Ain't that bad? Slovakia. Mark 3:24. It says no. It says, and if Satan rise up against Satan, it says, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. So you got these Edomites divided, you got the whole country divided, you know what I mean? Esau basically being exposed. You got Esau against Esau. So if Satan is against Satan, this devil cannot stand and have an end. He's divided. And that's why this devil gonna come down with great wrath, you know what I mean? He's gonna, Elder always says it. These Edomites gonna really show you their horns. I'm not surprised at Kid Rock's statement. I'm old enough to know about Kid Rock. He's a spokesman for a redneck for real. He's a wealthy redneck, but nonetheless, the funniest part is he don't like niggas, but he made all his money off of being a Edomite rapper, country rapper. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It says Kid Rock is being accused of getting rowdy with a reporter by using racial slurs and pulling out a gun. Slovakia. It says Kid Rock is accused of getting rowdy with a reporter by using racial slurs and pulling out a gun during an interview for Rolling Stone magazine with David Pisner. The controversial rock and roll star pulled out a weapon while discussing political hot topics such as transgender rights and the 2020 U.S. presidential election. So, this is the embodiment of that spirit, like the elder always calls them, the good old boys. That's that spirit where when this place, like let certain things happen, or that, you know, make America great again, or that take back our country type of spirit. He's going to push that to the forefront. You know, it says after allegedly ingesting 3 to 4 alcoholic drinks, Pishner and Rock started to wave. It's like if Pishner said Rock started to wave a black handgun in his face. He's sitting in the dark leather chair, shouting at me about something or other. When he reaches behind the seat, pulls out a black handgun, and waves it around to make some sort of point. Pishner wrote. He continued, added that Rock, whose real name is Robert James Ritchie, shouted, "And I got a fucking gun right here if I need it. I got them everywhere." The reporter also cited that Rock used the N-word several times while talking with him, specifically when referring to Detroit rapper Trick Trick. I'm not hip to who Trick Trick is, but I think Kid Rock is from Detroit. Point being, this is going into the political affiliations. He feels some kind of way because of the fact, and this could be propaganda. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say? This man pull a pistol and no kind of charges being dealt. I mean, get the fuck out of here. I mean, like, these celebrities got some kind of power, but they don't have all like omnipotent power. You know what I mean? That's why you got celebrities get DUIs and shit like that. Like, come on. So you just gonna pull a pistol on a reporter and not get charged? Like, fuck out of here. Rock revealed the rapper allegedly approved of allegiance. Rock revealed the rapper allegedly approved of allegiance to former President Donald Trump in conversation also called tricking racial slur. It's worth mentioning these are not the only times Richie drops the offensive term during the interview. And then he trying to use the word nigga as now it's offensive, but we can all recall, if you just watch a movie, you know what I mean? Or, I can actually say, although I'm only 45 years old, I've actually experienced racism. You got some silly ass jakes that haven't, but nonetheless, although we're up north, this you got to remember this was founded by a lot of down south racist ass crackers. So you know what I mean. Now we, what's the word? We embrace the word nigga because it was broken down to us what it means. You know what I mean? Um, it'd be easy to label this as the rantings of a drunk racist, but as with everything that Richie does, it's hard to know how calculated it all is. And it's all could be calculated. Known for embracing magna politics in his buddy and friendship with Trump, Rock is embracing the idea that he contributed to the stressful political climate in the U.S. He identified himself as one of those polarizing people. "I'm part of the problem," Rock told Pisner, according to Fox News. "I'm one of the polarizing people, no question. Sometimes I bitch about other people, then I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh yeah, why don't you shut the fuck up too?" Crossing over between country and rock, Rock said he has performed using the Confederate flag for years, but claims it never became a problem until all this woke shit started happening. "I was using the Confederate flag because I love Leonard Skinner and I think it's just looks cool," he said. And when you go into the Confederate flag, you know what that means. That's that down south mentality, where a nigga ain't worth nothing but to be a slave, or he less than a man and all this shit. So again, I'm not surprised that the terminology he used. I was more interested in the word, the American divide, because this place truly is divided. As Pishner questioned if the musicians were simply trying to get a reaction out of him, the reporter wondered if the drunken tirade was just a play for more attention. He then revealed he was led into another argument with Rock just to wrap up the interview. While Rock has to drive the writer through the woods from his home recording studio back to his car, Rock asks his picture do him a favor. Just write the most horrific article about me. Do it helps me, Rock said, according to Pishner. So, I mean, that could be trying to be staying relevant. Who's to say what the fuck this was about, you know? But I will say this again: America's Great Divide, because he said all this woke shit. You know what I mean? And you do have the country divided because of it's too much information coming out. You know, that's why they're trying to take control of the internet and take control of media outlets and what's being said, what's being published, what's being talked about. You know, so that all being said, matter of fact, I'm gonna get this. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33, and it reads, "Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways." And this going into trimmest our ways, because Jacob trim, the law, statutes, and commandments. He'll disregard those things in order, Jake don't look at coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments and serving the Most High as anything righteous or glorious, or, you know, Jake look at it like Jacob more so try to make deals with Esau, Edom, thinking that, you know, this devil is gonna, turn another leaf, or he's gonna, you know, bless him. The scriptures tell you that he'll basically use you if he have need of you, roughly paraphrase. You know, scriptures to talk about how who could make straight with the Most High make crook. This man was set up to be, a particular type of spirit on the earth, and you're going to see that more and more the closer we get to the end. You know, they pretty much disregarding the Bible right now. Like, they pretty much just, like, they pretty much letting you know that they are about wickedness. You know what I mean? Like, but Jacob forsake the truth for this world. You know, that's why scriptures talk about love not the world or the things that are in the world. Especially with this Moab society, you know what I mean? When you really got to understand what you got to do just to make it here, you know what I mean? Like I was just listening to one of the elders speak on the fact, like, when you look at just like our financial situation, you got individuals with decent jobs that would have been decent jobs a year or two ago, that, or let's say 5 years ago, but now you got them having to DoorDash, Uber, and work this particular job, and still not really, like, living. They just barely making it. So it's the book of the Lord is putting a certain kind of spirit on the earth, because we about to come to the time of Jacob's trouble, and I always mention that it's going to be racial division. It's going to be race wars and riots. It's going to be violence in the earth. The book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 tells you that. This is the book of 2 Ezra chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 14, and it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." And the modern day sword is the gun. And one nation of people are going to fight against another nation of people. So, that's race wars. Now, you're going to have certain Edomites that, still believe in the government against those that were once part of the government but don't agree with the ideology. You got to remember, this country pretty much always had, like, Minutemen or militias. I believe they got that from Gad, fighting in small number groups and whatnot. You go like that movie Civil War, and that's going to you're going to see that when the time comes. Like the elder speaks on the marauders, individuals that's trained and have specific, a specific skill set to come and take your shit. You know what I mean? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men," basically uprisings, insurrections, people not in agreement with the government, and evading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And we're seeing that now. We've seen it, a couple years ago when, you had the P. Dizzy. But you're going to see that even more the more things get more destitute, things get more dangerous. It says, verse 18, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and man shall be afraid." Because that's how violent it's going to be. 2 Timothy chapter 3 says, "In the last days, perilous times shall come." And when you go into that word perilous, it's the Greek word kalapos, meaning hard to bear, hard to do, fierce, dangerous. So, that's what it will have a grown man in fear. When a grown man feel he can't protect himself or his family, like, that's fear. Verse 19, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So that means that people are going to take it upon themselves to feed themselves. You got people who barely can feed themselves now. So they're going to go get it by any means. They're going to come into your house. They're going to take your shit. You've seen a multitude of movies that show these things in real time. Well, just imagine when they're happening in your face, happening in the world. I always bring up the fact that when Anthony Sowell was out here, Because Anthony Sowell was a serial killer in Cleveland. And the thing is, I've heard a number of stories about him, but the thing is, they say, well, I can say this for myself. I do, that's not exaggeration or not a story, that I do know when he was out here, these hoes weren't as proud. I'm talking about all those street walkers and bitches, like at a certain time, wasn't no women on the street. All the way down to the street walkers. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's when you seen these hoes fearing. So, we about to come back into them times because, again, you like that was a beautiful, like how the Lord just set that up, because that's the spirit of America right now. You got these crackers, these devils gonna show their true colors. It's the book of Ezekiel, and I'm gonna end it because at the end of the day, evil is about to come to this place. Eve is time ill is bad. Bad times is approaching. And you got people going through bad times now, but you're going to see it even more so when these people really, really, really start to catch hell. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 4, and it reads, "And my eye shall not spare thee, this is the Most High, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Thus saith the Lord, power and evil and only evil, behold, is come." Verse 6, "An end is come, the end is come, if watcher for thee, behold, it is come." And we are truly at the end of this system. I can't tell you when the dollar's going to crash. I can't tell you when this devil's going to be taken out of power. But I could tell you that you can clearly see that the end of this system is approaching, because these banks are failing, these businesses are shutting up, all for them to do, pretty much do their great reset. And a lot of people, see, what you don't understand how sadistic these people is. They know what they're doing, and they also understand. You got to remember, they play the numbers on everything. You got to understand, they already anticipating, lots and lots and lots of people dying. But that's also the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, because it's about to be the great judgment. So if you so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Elohim like Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem. Kodesh B'Katham. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Aqua out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, say shalom, shalom, Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.